That is something. I wonder if it was greased on top of that. Jesus, a lot of people have pigs for pets, and I know the ones that they have pets here. They get really fat. Like their faces are really fat and stuff, and they're just like dogs. They let them in and out, and just they're smart as dogs, But I got to tell you, pigs, man, when they can be stubborn, when they don't want to move or get out of somewhere, they can put up a heck of a fight that takes a few hours to remove them. I can see that happening.
Well, they're very intelligent because I watch, Green Acres, that old TV show, that cult show. And Arnold is really smart. He knows how to turn on the TV, change the channels, and play hockey and all that stuff. So, I mean, the pigs are really intelligent.
They are intelligent. They truly are. And, it's funny. Pigs will eat about anything, but
yeah, they'll even eat their owners. Okay, there's people that that raise pigs, right? And they maybe had a medical condition. They fall in the pig pen, right? And they don't survive because the pigs will eat them. They don't care. They'll just eat anything. I mean, the best garbage disposal next to my wife.
Listen, pigs are vicious. I know way back in the old days, the old moonshiners out here in the middle of the sticks used to keep pigs around, and somebody come up missing. It was usually because they got fed to the pigs. I mean, it's just the way it was.
They eat the bones too. I mean, that was the mob used to do that. That besides burying people out in the desert, hey, in the other part of the country, they take you to a pig farm and drop you in there, the body, and it's gone. They eat your everything. There's nothing that remains. You know what? In New Hampshire, you're in your swimming pool, enjoying the last of summer, and all of a sudden you get an uninvited guest jumping in. Naked. Naked guest jumping in your pool. Now you're freaking out because it is a huge, huge moose.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you what, mooses are no joke. Especially if they're rotten, man, they will tear you up. Best thing you do is give a moose a wide berth. Don't confront them. Get away from them.
Well, I guess I spoke too soon about Florida. Okay, a Florida man is taking his clothes dryer apart because it wasn't working right. So he takes it apart, and he's working on it. And then when he gets bit by the snake that was curled up into the agitator, he realizes that's why, it wasn't working.
I would have bet anything it was a snake. I've lived in Florida, and snakes are just all over. And it's gotten so worse now because, pythons are now a regular species of Florida because everybody has either turned them loose or because of all the hurricanes, they've gotten loose, and now they're running amok out through Florida, especially South Florida, big pythons and stuff. So, yeah.
Well, another thing is really dangerous, I guess, in Texas now, because on the super highways and highways, you really have to watch out for horses and ponies and mules running loose on the roadways.
Oh, really? Wild ones, I think.
Yes, wild ones, yeah.
That's crazy. It used to be like that a long time ago, but some of them roads in West Texas, there's nothing out there but just highway, like you were talking about back when you were in your GTO days. You just go 70, 80, 90 mile an hour. Next thing you know, a wild horse comes out in front of you. And I got to tell you something. If you hit a horse, it's going to really mess your vehicle up big time.
When I used to ride my motorcycle, to Nevada, and one of the places we loved to go was to Virginia City. And, that's just above Reno. You have to go up, part of a mountain and go like maybe 15 miles to get to it. But there were wild horses all around there, and you had to be careful because it's worse than a deer. I mean, you'd be riding your motorcycle, and all of a sudden, a couple of horses would just go right across the road, and the roads were windy and stuff. So, I mean, you really had to be careful. But, yeah, there's certain parts, like in Nevada, that they're running around like crazy loose.
Yeah, that is scary because they're a lot more solid, more bigger. So they really will mess your car up. Deer will mess your car up. So can you imagine what a horse or donkey would do? I know that back to my '70 Chevelle when I had that, I was driving country roads one night, and white-tailed deer are just rampant around here, and one jumped clear over the hood of my car, and I got to tell you that, from left to right, it just jumped from the side of a hill over the hood of my car as I'm driving. When you see that, you think, did I just see that? But it really happened. It's scary stuff. If the timing would have been off, it would have been on my front lap. And with the windshield.
That's not good, because in 1986, I bought a brand new Corvette. Okay? And I had it maybe like 3 or 4 days, and I decided to go from Western Washington to Eastern Washington. And I was up in the mountains, and a deer decided to run right into the front of my car while I was doing 60 miles an hour. I tell you, it totaled out the car, and I was lucky to be alive.
Yeah, especially being in a vet, because wasn't that all fiberglass?
All fiberglass. It just shattered. It disintegrated the whole front of the car. I mean, it was just like gone.
Right, and the deer you probably hit was probably a mule deer. They're a little bit bigger than the whitetails, and deer's no joke. So I couldn't imagine hitting a horse or a donkey. My goodness, that would really total your car.
Or a motorcycle, it'd kill you, because right by where I live last summer, there was a guy not more than 3 miles from where I'm at, hit a motorcycle on the freeway. I mean, the motorcycle, he hit a deer, and it killed the guy instantly.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I know about 30 years ago, I hit out in the middle of nowhere, going around a turn. I was riding a motorcycle, and a rabbit run out in front of me, and I hit a rabbit on a motorcycle going maybe 30 around a curve. And to this day, I do not know how I did not wreck. I swear, God, as I was losing control, something just picked me up, set me back down. It was freaky, but I still don't know how I did not wreck from hitting that rabbit.
Yeah, well, can you imagine being engaged to a woman, and you go into a restaurant and they have a pie eating contest? Now, she says, "Hey, honey, I want to enter this contest." And it's pumpkin pie, by the way. Okay.
Of course.
Now, can you imagine, okay, you're now engaged to this lady. You really don't know her that well. You don't know anybody till after you're married. Well, she sits down and she breaks the record. She eats 50 slices of pumpkin pie in 10 minutes. Now, is that going to tell you what the future might be?
That's going to tell you that you best stock up on groceries, because you got a woman that's doing some eating. That's a lot of weight. The average piece of pie has got to weigh, 6 ounces, and times 50. That's a lot. That's a lot of pie. My goodness.
I don't know.
Where did she put it all?
Well, in Minnesota, this 9-year-old boy took a wrong turn on a 5K race and ended up winning a 10K race because he took the wrong turn.
Oh, my goodness. I've often wondered about some of these people winning races like that. Maybe they take a shortcut over the hill and come back out in the crowd and be like, "Hey, I won." That's crazy. You know what? Good for him. I don't know what else to say, but good for him.
Well, if you live in Kansas, you better watch out, because a cougar escaped from the zoo. And the authorities warned that this could be very dangerous. Thank God they managed to capture it.
So, yeah, cougars are no joke. I'm going to tell you what, they'll take your pets. They get brave enough, they'll take you. If you're out hiking somewhere in a secluded area, be careful. They are very dangerous animals sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? An Idaho man decides he's going to slice grapes. And he wants to break the world record slicing grapes. No, he doesn't use one of these knives you see advertised on one of the cable channels. He goes out and gets himself, a sword. Like the, what do you call those?
Samurai?
Well, even bigger than that, a big fat sword. And he's sitting there slicing grapes. And he won the world's record of slicing 70 grapes all at once that were perfectly cut thin.
Wow. Again, I think that's a perfect example of somebody that's got a lot of time on their hand, because he had to do a lot of practice with that big old sword to break the record of 70 grapes. Jesus.
Well, gee, I ran out of interesting stories, so I hope you have some.
Well, back to UK, a woman gave her toddler her cell phone, to play with while she was doing some things. And a few days later, here it appears that she ordered a $350, equivalent to around $350 couch. So it got delivered. She was ordering all kind of stuff on the phone, her toddler, while she was playing with her cell phone that she let her play with. How about that one, Gary?
I don't know. Kids, you know what? Even at 2 years old, they can do things that I know people when I was in junior high school couldn't do.
I'm telling. Listen, even my kid. I mean, years ago, just 4 or 5 years old. You know how illiterate I am on a computer. I would call for him to help me out. I'm still illiterate on a computer, but I think it's just ingrained. It's in their DNA. They grew up with computers. They just know them. Me, I look at one, I get anxiety. That's just me. I call you. I call you.
I wonder if this Halloween, if I'm going to break the record, because up to recently, I still had other neighbors. It was all kind of woodlands around here. But over the last couple of years, it's been logged out except my property. And, I would sit here and buy all this candy for Halloween, and I would never get anybody going trick or treat. I'm just wondering if this year, should I buy candy again, or should I wait and see? Or I don't know. If I buy the candy, who ends up eating it all?
Yeah, you know what? I'm the same scenario. Every year I buy candy, and I might get one or two kids come by, and then I'm stuck with it. So you know what's going to happen? I'm going to eat it all. And now that I'm allergic to like Reese's cups, I'll probably eat one of those. And next thing I know, my lips will look like bubble gums and won't be able to talk. So yeah, it's a lose-lose. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just buy one bag, and maybe that's what you should do. Just buy one bag and always send your wife out to get more.
Well, you could always do what somebody posted up on Facebook, Karen. Instead of getting apples and dipping them in caramel, you go out and get either, onions or something in that nature, and then put a stick in it and dip it in caramel and give it to the kids.
Oh, my. Listen, I seen somebody was doing that, and you know what else they was using? Tomatoes. They were putting sticks in them and dipping them and passing them out as apples. Can you imagine biting into a candied onion or a tomato? The shock and awe on your face would be priceless.
It would be. It actually would. You know what I like to do is get an apple, right, and take a drill bit and drill a hole in it, right, and put one of these fake worms in it, and then dip it into caramel, and then give it to one of the neighbor kids I don't like.
Oh my goodness, you're rotten. Or get a little Brussels sprout or something like Karen says here, and put chocolate covered it and pass them out. People, I tell you, that's probably a good way to get your house TP'd, or worse. Or
yeah, nowadays they'll blow your house with a stick of dynamite.
Remember when we was kids, you get your pet's dog's doo-doo and put in a bag and light it on fire and ring the bell, and they'd come out and stomp it out, and then they'd cuss at you.
I never thought about that. I'd be honest with you, I never did anything like that. Is that some of the stuff you did when you were young? Okay, well, we're on break. We'll be back in about 4 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark.